Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Okay, we are a few seconds away from market open. So quite low volume overnight, but more or less just going sideways. So uh, we'll keep an eye on things and see how things progress. But quiet day yesterday. I think even Max said there wasn't a lot around, a lot of trades around yesterday. There wasn't. So it's just one of those things. It's going to take a little bit of time to get back into it. I think maybe a day or two. So, Daryl, good morning to you, my friend. Okay, so we got a channel with a break, 2 pushes. Not sure whether I like that. Let's have a look. So I'm looking at oil again, but it just seems to have gone a bit stagnant. We'll see anyway. So channel break, couple of pushes up. Ben, good morning, mate. First day back since the middle of December. Good on you, mate. Yes, you too, my friend. Thank you. I think it'll be a better year. I certainly think it will, certainly for me anyway. But I think, generally as years go by, year by year, things just get better for everyone. I think the more obviously people who stick at it, of course. Uh, so it's hard to know what's going on here at the moment. Is there something wider? Not so sure. There are orders up here, so this is probably going to go a bit higher. That doesn't make sense to me. Is there a possibility of a larger channel there that I may have missed? I don't think there could be. It's not obvious, so let me just see. Might see some other charts. So Thomas Wade has basically got the same as me. He's got that little channel, but I've got rid of it anyway. I think it's irrelevant now. Let's have a look at Daniel, see if he's got that his chart, is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's Dan's chart, more or less the same, to be honest with you. 2 legs up. I had a little channel. I just got rid of it anyway. It's just a bit messy, isn't it? So I think we're looking at the right type of picture at the moment. Hopefully it picks up. I've taken 1 trade in the last 2.5 weeks, I think. But it has been Christmas and it is quieter, so it's just one of those things. So news-wise, we've got some coming up later, 7 o'clock. We'll be done and dusted by then. Medium impact news, Trump. I say medium impact news. You never quite know what Trump's going to say, so that medium impact news could turn into high impact news. There's this stuff with Venezuela in the moment and Greenland and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how the market reacts to that. So if you look on Bookmap, most of the orders I can see are up towards the overnight highs, 55 and upwards. So I think if we can get 2 legs back, there's more chance this thing's going to go up, I think. So start with 55. So there's sellers at 55, sellers at 57, kind of all around this area. It's kind of peppered all around this area, say about 57 and a half, and 58, which takes us, 58.75, which takes us basically to the highs. And there are a few further up as well. So for me, if I look at price, it's slowly dragging us up, but I need some kind of a second entry there to get up, which I don't think we're going to get by the looks of things. It's just going to continue up. So let's just let's put that there. So we got a little small channel up there with a break, new high. Apart from that, there's not much we can really do. Let's make that a little larger, but it does look like price is slowly getting drawn up to this area. But you can't take a trade here really. If you think it's going up and the setup's there, it's got to be back here really. So are there buyers around this area? There are some. There's some at 43. That's a bit low, that is, for me. It is getting a bit wicky up here, so it may pull back a little bit. Fingers crossed. So, yeah, there are buyers around this area. Not a huge amount. Scruffy. I haven't, mate. I haven't even had a prompt for it. My partner bought me a new mouse for Christmas. Just got it all set up. My first wireless mouse, and it weighs 58. Which is say, yeah, I use this. I do. This is the second one I've had. It's a MX Master 3. Logitech. You see that? Logitech MX Master 3. I know more or less wore the last one out. This is the MX Master 3. I had the MX Master 2 before, but it's great. I just love the feel of it. It wasn't cheap. I think it was about 70, 75 pound, but I've had cheap mice before, but if you get a nice mouse, it's precise. I mean, I can move this around. It's really precise, and it moves. I know some people say, you shouldn't have wireless mice. But I've never had a problem, to be honest with you. And I have my order and my stop, everything set where it needs to be. But I have got a plug in at my computer there, which I can just plug it into there quickly if anything goes wrong. But to be honest with you, I haven't had a problem in all the time I've been trading. So some people like wired. I like wireless. I prefer it. So see if we can. Let's see what happens here. So do you use a mouse pad? Yeah, I've got one of these. One of these big candlesticky things. Can you see it? One of them. And I have that kind of right above, kind of across my desk. So I've got plenty of movement here. So I don't know whether they make a difference, but it's got a bit of grip and it's nice and soft anyway. I got my elbows on it, so it kind of works out nice. So yeah, big mouse. They are, yeah. They're not expensive. I think this was about £12 or £15. It wasn't much. I had one when I first started trading with like the map of the world on. It was kind of like the globe kind of unraveled, and I just was looking for a new one. It got a bit mucky, and I was looking for a new one, and it's just got these continuation patterns. You have a look at them from time to time. We don't generally do patterns, but I can see a bull flag, bear flag, and all that sort of stuff. Just to see if they play a part. But I do like mine. It's nice and solid as well. It's got a metal wheel as well. So yeah, get yourself a decent mouse, I would. Especially, I mean, that spends about 3 hours a day in my hand, so you do wear them out. They do go smooth. So yeah, what is going on here? Let me see if there is a bigger channel. There may be. Trouble is, if this is a bigger channel, we're not getting to the top. And if we don't get to the top, often that'll lead to a break. So I'm a bit nervous about getting into a long ear, and mainly as well because if you look at Bookmap, there are quite a few buyers around here and sellers up here, and we're in the middle of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a break here. So 46 to 48. So there are buyers around 46 to 48, which is in that area. And there are sellers kind of up here. So I won't be surprised if we get into this area. And then from 2 to 56, I think. So 52 to 56. So there are sellers there at the top and buyers there. So what are we doing? We're chopping up and down between these two levels. I'd be nervous about getting into a long ear just in case it triggers and comes down. This to me is a little bit sideways. It is a bullish bar, but it's not the strongest bullish bar, so I'm just sitting tight here. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets into this area. I think with these sellers up here, I think there's a good chance price is going to attempt a new high, or certainly to get into this area up here. I'm just going with that based on what I can see up here, these passive buyers and sellers. There is a possible second entry long there again, but the first one didn't trigger, and I'm just a bit dubious about this. The chunk of orders are around 47.5, which is there. Right below there. So it may well go up, but my guess is it's risky going long here. There is a second entry long. It didn't trigger the first time. It's triggering the second time. What news have we got? Risky. Let me just have a look at the news. Right, okay. Sorry, I took off. Is that updates it? Yeah, I took off the low impact news there. I just have it on from time to time because I'm trading oil futures as well. Yeah, so if you'd have taken that trade there, it triggered you, came down. I get why some traders may have gone long there, but it's just got risk written all over it. And as I say, if I like this as a channel, Thomas Way's just posted that. He's got that as a channel. Now, I said this a million times. If we're getting up to the top and we struggle to get up to the top, we're losing momentum. And 9 times out of 10, that'll lead to a break, which is what I expected. So as we've got a break and we've got buyers here, there's a good chance price then could move up. But there are sellers in this area here, so let me have a look. There are sellers around the 50. Now, if I want to go long here, I prefer it when I see sellers above the highs. We're getting sellers coming in here early, and that might mean this larger channel isn't valid, and we may have something like that or like that. So I'm going to get rid of that. I don't think that's valid. So we got a channel here with a break, 2 pushes through the high. So this is played out. So you just got to be careful going along here because at that 50, there's 1,000 contracts there. So do you really want to go long into that? Not that there's a long anyway. Let's have a look. So there's a failure there, which is triggered. Trouble is, we've got 1,080 contracts there. Now, if it hits them contracts, it may push up above the stop from that failure. But as I say, I'm surprised that didn't push up there. But it only takes enough aggressive sellers to like this selling at this area, and sometimes they'll take over. Still don't think it's finished going up there. That's going to be one hell of a big magnet, and it's going sideways now. So as it's going sideways and it's losing that momentum, my guess is it'll hit there. And if it does, there'll probably be second entry long. There's a failure there. Now, if there's a lot of stops there and a lot of traders liking this, that'll help keep things down. But I'm just sitting tight here. It's clearly a bit congested here. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 bars. A lot of stem, not much in the way of bodies. So you've got to be careful here. Let's just get rid of that. I don't need it now. So 1,060 contracts. That's that close to price. That won't be traders spoofing there. I don't think that's too close. Now, this will be the trap, I think. If we get sellers in here, it's risky, isn't it? This is going to push up now. Apex and an extension to the PA fees. When does the thing finish? Is it today or tomorrow? Yeah, there we go. So I expected that a couple of bars back, but I did expect it, but not quite that large. Does it finish? Does it finish today on the 6th? I have a funny feeling it finished on the 6th. Little Hammer, how you doing, buddy? Russell, good morning. Sorry, mate, I didn't see you there. Sean, how you doing? Yeah, I've said that. Yeah, they usually do, bud, because if they don't, it encourage people to try and pass it quick. And as a company, really, you don't want to be advertising that you're encouraging people uh, to take risks. Now, Thomas Wade's still got this as a channel, in which case this may push up. But I'm not so sure. There's a, what's that? Is that 58-ish? Okay, so let's get rid of that. So there are sellers up there. 58, 58.75 area. So it may go up. It's just not clear at the moment, really. So I'm going to ditch that. Maybe that's just a bit of chop. But it's not clear. I'll try that again. I'm not a massive fan. It's possible, but I'm not a fan of it. It's not super clear, so we'll just leave that. So looking at this CL chart, we've got two legs up. There's a lower high there. There's some bulls trap there, but it's just too choppy. I drew that line earlier, not because of any liquidity, but you can see where we're using all this as resistance, and now we're using it as support. So do I really want to go short into that? It looks like it might work, but we got a leg down a bunch of times, and often we'll get a second leg down, but I don't really want to go short into all that because it may bounce and turn up. Seeing the leg down and a bunch of attempts, I think there's a chance we get a second leg down, but I just can't bring myself to go short into that lot. So I'm just gonna leave that alone. Okay, so we came up to that. That's been taken. There are a few more up here, 60. So I certainly think we're yeah, we've broken the highs of the day. So what else have we got? Yesterday's highs up here. So that's at 63.5. So we're only a few points short of that. So okay, so yeah, it's doing what I kind of thought it may do, leg and a leg, but I don't want to get in here because it is a bit choppy and there is support there. So sometimes it's just one of those things. Sometimes you do nothing and it works. Other times it may have triggered you and pushed up a bit higher. So I'm quite happy to leave that alone. I'm never in that much of a rush that I'll take a risky trade. I just tried this a minute ago. Someone else has just put that there. Trouble is, we've now got an overshoot, so it just doesn't look right to me that we're clearly kind of pushing up in some form, but this may just be ranging, so it's not clear. I mean, if that was a channel, we've had a break of it and a new high anyway, but I don't like it really. It doesn't look very good, does it? Sometimes these things need to continue on for a little bit before they start to make sense. That doesn't, I don't know. Maybe it is a couple of legs and a new high, who knows? But if it is, it's played out anyway. So we've made a new high for the day. So I can see, oh, there we go. Going to say I can see orders up here. They've just been taken out now, those orders. See, it's just gone black all of a sudden. So There was orders in between these two areas here, which is just had a quick shoot up. So there are some at 67.50, which is a fair bit higher. Whether it'll get up that high or not, I don't know. But we're close to the, sorry about that, wasn't it? So we're close to yesterday's highs. Let's have a little zoom out and have a look. Yeah, you can see that it's rattled around here. Isn't it weird? You can see I put these in where orders are, and they obviously trade at levels, and you can see how it's reacting to this area here. We push down into it and rattle along it, and we kind of did the same yesterday. We had kind of like a shoulder, head, shoulder, kind of and now we're doing it the same. We've managed to push up above it now, so whether we come down and rattle around in it again, who knows, but so orders at 70. Let's put that up a bit. You can see them up there, and orders at 67.50, which is there. So is that likely to go up? It certainly looks like it. That we can get rid of. We've got buyers at 62.5, 63, which is around about there. So if we do get a pullback, there's other buyers thinking they like this to go long. Maybe there's kind of a little two-tiered channel there. We push up. We're working quite nice in that one tier. We come down, and now we're working up along this line. So maybe there's a little two-tiered channel there. Let me just look at this side, see if this looks any better as something larger. Trouble is, we've only really touched this twice, so you can't use the fact that we touch it. I mean, you can touch any 2 points together. So I'm just not a massive fan of that. We're clearly kind of working up some way, somehow. So channel there with a break. Let me have a look. So there are buyers around where 67.5. There are buyers, which is there. A little bit lower. So let's say around about 67. So there are buyers here. We're close. In fact, you could probably put them up a touch. So there are buyers here. There are sellers about 64 and above. 64 to 67 at the moment, which is here. Trouble is, the more passive orders you get in an area, the more confusing it can look sometimes. And we've got a mix of sellers up here and buyers down here. So when that happens, we do tend to sort of go a bit sideways. We've had quite a lot of it today. You can kind of see it there. We ended up chopping sideways before it eventually took off. When does the Apex offer finish? Anybody know? No luck. Okay, so it finishes today. Okay, so yeah, if anybody isn't aware of the 90% off and $65 PA fee, It does finish it looks like midnight Eastern time tonight. And they have extended the PA fee, so you're not in a rush. Just have a look. I don't know how much they've extended it by, but they need to really, because if you buy it today, it kind of forces you to trade, which is wrong, really. Yeah, okay, so it finishes tonight, and they've extended it Sunday the 11th. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so you've got 5 days. They've extended it by 5 days, which is better. So the 90% off ends today, but then you can still pay the $65 if you pass it up until Sunday, midnight Eastern time on Sunday. So if you do use my code UKFT, UK Futures Trader, as normal, if you use it or you have used it, it is appreciated. But my honest opinion is, if you're quite new and you're struggling, I would stick to one at a time. You only really want to grow if you can manage to start getting some payments. That's the time to start growing your account. Uh, you're much better off just doing the one and just keeping it simple. There's no point in risking more than you need to. Right. I don't know where this thing's going further up. Who knows? We have broke yesterday's highs. So let's, sorry about that. Let's yank some of these out the way. We don't need that now. So there are buyers between 62 and 65. So they're, oh, you idiot. Between 62 and 65. So there are buyers here. So if we get a pullback, there are buyers liking taking that long. That's out the way now. So there are sellers at 70. Still buyers here. So I have my suspicions. Buyers here, sellers up here. Makes sense that this thing goes a bit higher. Trouble is, I still can't find any type of a channel that works. What can you do? Disco, how you doing, buddy? Fresh today. I know we're expecting some more snow the next couple of days. There's a big yellow bubble right over where I live and about 50 miles of the surrounding area. So I don't mind a bit of snow, actually. Looks pretty and all, doesn't it? Not great for old people, but ISO, how you doing, buddy? Okay. There was that. Those sellers at 70. We're coming into that now, and there are some a little further up at 75. So I wouldn't be surprised if this hits this, pulls back a little bit. 62 to 67. There are buyers all around this area, so I won't be surprised if we hit this level and have a small pullback. See that kind of bull bar there with a stem stuck in the middle of nowhere? If I took that, I'd expect to get stopped out. So with sellers there and buyers here, my guess is this is going to pull back a little. Uh, oh, There's a lot of buyers around here. These buyers are creeping higher. 67. Oh, so there are buyers all in this area. Okay, so we've hit them sellers there. Let's see what happens now. I was hoping we were going to get a bit of a pullback here. We started going a bit sideways there. I like that. It's kind of nice, so hopefully we get a couple of attempts. Okay, let's get this pullback. Come on. Those buyers are right in there. They're all there. Because those buyers are quite close. It's not kind of allowing price to come back enough before buyers jump straight in. About 68-ish. So, yeah, we're around about the right area. There are a lot of buyers in this area. So, sellers at 75. And it's 72.5. And thereabouts. Sellers here, buyers here. See if we can get something to fit at the top. Uh, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. It's not the worst looking one in the world, is it? But uh, buyers are right the way around here. Probably 65 at the lowest, so they're creeping up a touch. There are loads of buyers around this area. I mean, if I like something like this, I'd have to get a couple of legs down, really, and get in around here somewhere. So, buyers in this area. We've got to get down here a bit lower for me. Okay, we need to get down here, really. Trouble is, I don't like... This is like a two-tiered channel. I don't like trading at that midline because sometimes you never know when it's going to decide to come down to this side of the channel. Excuse me. Nothing you can do here anyway. It's completely congested. It's just choppy, isn't it, at the moment? You're getting it. It may well go up or it may trigger and come down for a second leg down. I'm sitting tight here. There are orders up here, so it may well push up to those. The orders up here, the sellers are up here at 75, are slightly stronger than the sellers down below. So it may go up, but when it's like this, it's just any trade like when it's chopping around like this is risky, as we got this little kind of micro with a break. So it could just fall into this area. So for me, I'm just sitting tight. So I can adjust this a bit now. So most of the buyers really are around kind of this area, which you'd expect below liquidity there. We can just keep an eye on it. That's all we can do, really. Yeah, poor day yesterday. I think even Max said it was, there wasn't, I think he marked about 4 or 5 high probability trades. Not that there was that many to take, really.
Order submitted.
Okay, I'm just looking at this at the moment on the CL chart. We've had this channel down there with a break 2 legs up. For me, it needs to break above that bull bar there. There's bound to be a second entry short stroke failure there, so there's going to be buyers around here. I like we've had a channel with a break. It's nice and broad, that. You can't confuse that with a channel up. It doesn't work. So for me, it's a channel with a break and a new high. Now, I always prefer it to break above there, 1 tick above there, because you're trapping a few more bulls, and we have done. So let's see if we get a bearish bar here. Now, my only slight concern with this is we broke the lows, but there's more to break down here, so that bar's no good. It's close to a doji, so now it may look different on someone else's, so there's nothing I can do about that. If it pushes a bit higher and then comes bearish, I'll have a go, but show me any rejection.
Order cancelled.
Just had a foot of snowfall yesterday. Yeah, I'm not surprised up that neck of the woods, mate. You're on quite high ground there, aren't you? I don't mind a bit of snow, actually. I like it. But yeah, you're right in that area, aren't you? Up there where you're bound to get some. I think. Well, we're supposed to be expecting about 20 centimeters or something. I can't remember. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? It said 20 centimeters. You just never know, though, do you? Can't find it now. There was something on Facebook earlier, so I had a look. Can't find it now. You never know. Not great price action again. Not really, is it? It hasn't started off very well. It's going up, but it's not clear. I mean, usually pullbacks are areas that here, but there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing really to suggest this is going to do that. Same again, little break. There's nothing you can do there. Choppy, nothing you can do here. Nothing. Well, I mean, we're overnight, so it's late there, but there's nothing really. But you never know. Sometimes when you're least expecting it, something happens. Let's hope. Let's hope that's right. Can we buy Murray Vase if we max out on 20 accounts? I don't think so. You could probably buy more evals, but the trouble is, if you pass them, you can't pick up any more PAs. So I think you can have as many evaluations as you want, but PA accounts. When you say 20, if you've got 20 evaluations, I think you can pick up as many evaluations as you want, but you can only have 20 PA accounts. So bounce. Are we going to get a triple test stroke second entry long here? Possibly. Trouble is, we've got a mixture of buyers and sellers all around us here. So we've got buyers here. Let me have a look. So we got buyers at 68.75, which is there. So we've got a bunch of buyers here. Now, do I want to go along there when I've got a bunch of buyers here and quite likely a shed load of liquidity over there? So my guess is this is probably going to come a bit lower, which is not a bad thing. If we can get to this area, I would much prefer, if there is a channel, I would much prefer trading in this area. There is a second entry long. The bar's okay. Where it is just, I don't know, it may work, it may not. I'm not taking it. It's not a huge risk, only 5 ticks. But the trouble is, you can see we've got a lot of buyers around here, so, and there is liquidity, so I'm just sitting tight here. I mean, if you took it for a point or point and a half, it worked. But for me, it's a little bit choppier, so I'm just sitting tight. But sometimes the worst trade in the world can work. I'm not saying it is. It is clearly two little pulls. Two little pulls backs. In the right sense, it is two little legs back. Excuse me, just for 1 minute. I'm going to put my heating on. It's starting to get a bit fresh. I'll be 1 minute. Okay, we're kind of just going a little bit sideways there, aren't we? Oh, bummer. So, you go in, come back. Just getting this. I wouldn't go there. It's congested there, so for me, it's just risky. There is two legs back. That one worked, but it's below the EMA. I'm just not so sure. We're starting to move into this bottom section of this channel, so you don't know whether we're going to end up having something like that. And it's going to come down, so I left it. Can't see any trades from anyone as of yet. Yeah, see, yeah. Dan's just said, honestly, waiting on Mac, no idea what's in play. Just thinking the same thing, really. He's got it slightly different. Well, it's very similar, actually. All I've done is extended the bottom. Let's have a look. He's got it from here, which is not much different, in all honesty. We're kind of working the same area here, and we're coming away. So he's got it to the top here, and I have. So there's not much difference, but yeah, he's waiting on Mac. He's got no idea. It's not clear. It's not an easy day again today. It just may take a few days to get into things. So it's just one of those things. You just got to be patient. That second entry long was an exact quadruple test to the tick. Rare Vladdy triple test. And about there, I don't know how he takes those. The only slight concern I've got, in fact, I don't think he'd have taken that, and I'll tell you why. If you listen to Vladdy, he says he never goes long below the EMA and he never goes short above the EMA. And that one is below the EMA. So my guess is he wouldn't have taken it. Is it a triple test? It kind of is bouncing there. You may say 1, 2, 3. The only slight concern I've got here is if this is a channel, same again. We've come back to here. We've pushed up and we're going sideways. So I don't like any of this at the moment. So as I say, I don't think it was the worst trade in the world. I think what was going for it, it was about 7 ticks. It's about as small as you see nowadays. But my guess is he wouldn't have taken that because he doesn't take him below the EMA. So he'd have waited for a higher low or whatever. But so I did look at it, but I'm quite happy to leave it. It's just not the best looking trade for me. You could argue it was a range error. Yeah, absolutely agreed. Yeah. The trouble is when there's a range within a move up like this, you never know whether we're going to trigger that and then drop out the bottom and come down here and test this kind of area. So I don't know. It's hard to say. It's not the strongest bar for me, put it that way, mainly because it's below that EMA. So, and not only that as well, if I take triple test, I much prefer the third test to break below any previous liquidity. And it didn't break below this, any stops there and there, see. So it's another reason why I left it. If we had a nice tail here and then a nice strong bar there, it would be better for me. So that EMA rule wouldn't matter. Depends how you look for the EMA. I much prefer to use the EMA to bounce off than I do a channel. Now, if we've got a second entry long in a channel like this here, and the EMA's far away from it, I won't touch it. So I like both the EMA and the channel. So this for me has gone up too strong, this has, because look how it's pushing away from that EMA. So going long here, you never quite know when it's going to trigger and pull back to that EMA. So I would take a trade below the EMA. You know, if it looked good enough. But from a Vladdy point of view, I've heard him say multiple times he doesn't touch them if they're below the EMA. And that one obviously clearly is. He goes for a flat 2 points. So I'd put money on he wouldn't take that. He's quite strict in his trade choice as well. So if it does quite look rangy there. If we've had a bit of a range there, we've had a break out the top, we may well come down here. Not only that, if this is a channel, look what's happening. We're coming away from the top. You can see it's working at the top there, and look what's happening now. It's moving away at a different angle. And if that is a range, which it kind of looks rangy, we've had a break out at the top. Now, as we know, a lot of the times they fail. And also what they do, as we know, is they break out the opposite end. So if it comes down here, it'll clear any previous liquidity. I wouldn't be surprised if we had buyers there. So we've got buyers around the 70, 71 area, which is around about that. Well, actually, where I've got that. Yeah, we've got buyers down below price here. Let me have a look. The 70, 69, you can see a bunch of them there. Between kind of 68 and a half and there, basically. So my guess is prices are going to push down into this area and clear out any liquidity there. So I'd like to see it in the way of 2 legs. Having said that, because we're coming away from the top, if it's losing that upward momentum, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a break of the channel here or correction or some kind of... So I'd like a break here and a second leg down. Leg, little correction, and then a leg into this area, pick up some buyers, but then you got buyers appearing at 65 down here. So as it's, I don't know, as it's coming away from the top, we may get a couple of legs down. So it doesn't surprise me that there are buyers down there. If we ended up having something like that-ish, that would kind of get us into that ballpark, wouldn't it? That's just kind of call that an educated guess at the moment. Same, I skip that trade. I don't take triple test. Yeah, it's funny. I much prefer to take short triple tests than longs. Anybody else get that? They prefer certain setups short. I feel more comfortable taking shorts. I don't know why. It's weird, isn't it? I suppose everyone's got their own little quirks. I have, to be honest with you, I like triple tests, but I haven't seen a great deal of them yet, to be honest with you, lately. So we've got a channel here. So my guess is, in fact, I'm confident without a doubt we're going to get below any liquidity here because we've got a nice sharp channel. So even if we get a break of it, we're more likely to make a new low. So my guess is it'll get into this area at least. Trouble is we've got we've got sellers up here, buyers down here, and that makes it then go sideways. So it's a bit hard to trade that way. So if we get a bull bar here, I'll be staying well away from that. But there'll be liquidity there, definitely below that bar there. And we've just broke below more. So you get used to seeing, I mean, there's a clear channel down there anyway, so that's going to continue on until it clears liquidity. And then there's going to be some profit taken, and we may get a small pullback. But as we're coming away from the top, for me, we're going to get a break. That's if that channel is valid. It's not the best looking thing in the world, is it? I mean, it did work that. As I say, the one thing going for that is it's small. So, you know, some people will deem that it's worth the risk. I tend to not do that. You know, Mackle Mark that is green, high risk trades. I generally don't take them. Part of the reason is I go for 3 points, Matt goes for 1. So I only really, you know, point for point, I only really need to take 1 trade for every 3 he takes. So if I was scalping a point, then I probably would take slightly more riskier trades. But I try to go for something that I'm confident I'll get 3 points. At least that way, I don't need to take as many trades, and I can sit and wait for those real nice ones, which we just don't seem to be getting many lately. But it does happen from time to time. We go through flat spells. We do. And the key is not to take risky trades and end up, because I don't know where she is. She might be in the background. Sometimes she stalks us and waits for us to do something wrong, and then she'll pounce. So she may be in the background. She's keeping an eye on us and making sure we're in check. She'd be there somewhere keeping an eye on us. Don't worry about that. Okay, so any liquidity across here is now gone, but we are still in this little channel. So we like Karina. She's nice, Karina. I've never seen a bad side to Karina. She's always nice, friendly, polite, always sends nice messages. We've not got that. There's very few women traders, to be honest with you. I mean, there's a few streamers, but if you look at the percentage, if I look at the stats on my YouTube channel, it's about 99% male. Why? I don't know. I think women personally make better traders because they're kind of, I think what doesn't help guys is we're quite gung-ho, aren't we? We've got we're full of testosterone, and she's nice, yeah. We're full of testosterone, and sometimes we don't like to lose, do we? We don't like to admit we're wrong. So, whereas I think women are a little bit more calmer, well, a lot calmer. So, see these chunk of buyers around here. You can get rid of that now. So, let me have a look. So, 63.75 there. There are buyers here, so we've got a channel here with a break. Now, I'm guessing there's going to be people buying here, depending on how you look at this, but I'm not. My guess is it's going to come down. There are sellers around 71 and a quarter, which is there at the EMA. So we may trap some longs here and come down, but I'm just sitting on my fingers, sitting on my hands. Oh, excuse me. She doesn't trade pats, Karina. She trades differently. She trades, forget what they call them, Renko bars or something like that. She trades slightly different. She is involved in a Discord as well. I think she has Discord or spend some time in a Discord or something like that, I think. So if you look at it, they're quite different, these charts at the moment. That bull bar there has triggered. On my right chart, it hasn't. That's a bit unusual. So you can see lots of buy orders at 65, and where's 65? Right below that bull bar. So for me, that's going to get stopped out. Now, we may get a pullback before it happens, but for me, that trade is going to get stopped. There are some sellers at 70, 71, so we may get a couple of legs up before it comes down, but I think we're going to have a quick shove now. So that got stopped out. A little bit of sideways there, but then straight down, take that out. So there are buyers here, so see what happens here. So we got the break I expected because of this lack of momentum. We're struggling to get up, so I expected kind of a pullback there. I certainly expected a break anyway, which we've had. So I just need to be aware where these buyers are here. So Thomas Wade is looking for a failed second entry short above VMA. Ah, that's interesting. 10,000 chart, tick chart looks good. Let's have a look. What's that look like? Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, does it? So your next channel break. So yeah, that looks okay. That. So channel break, new low. So that channel's played out. Now I'm not going to jump in here at the moment because we could go a bit sideways. And also we could come down. So if you can see, there's a chunk of buyers between 2.5. Easiest way to do that is there are buyers there in that area there, which funnily enough is below that bull bar and below that bubble. So I wouldn't be surprised. Now, if you look at bookmap, there are, let's get rid of this. There are sellers between 70 and 72.5. Between 70 and 72.5. There are sellers there and buyers there. So I'm not surprised that it starts to go sideways. But I would expect more than that small break to make a new high. Usually the bigger the channel, the bigger the break, the more of the scenic route it takes, so to speak. But I'd certainly like it to get into this area. There are some. There's 180 contracts at 60. So that is a patient person down there if he's willing to wait. I think buyers in this area are a little bit less patient. They want to get in, but the guy down here is, no, I'm going to let them all get in and I'm going to wait. Brown, this bounced off my trend line different than yours. Not sure. Why didn't you look at that second entry, double bar entry? I don't really take double bar entries, mate. That's more of a Thomas Wade thing. Was it at the top? I wasn't looking at the chart. Second entry long. You on about this one here, are you, bud? There's nothing I'd have seen there. There was a little second entry. Someone mentioned a triple test. I left it. It's below the EMA. It's a little bit sideways for me, so I'm just not sure what's going on at the moment. You said a second entry long. So we're below there. As I say, channel break, new low. There'd have been a few people buying there. For me, it's risky. It's just, there's nothing there really. It's not strong. So this bounce off my trend line different than yours. I haven't reloaded mine. I know sometimes they can be a bit different. ATR's quite low today. Sometimes they can be a bit different. Channel break, new low, or two pushes to a new low. So we've got into this area, but there are still more there. So I certainly wouldn't do anything here. It's a little bit sideways, and rightly so. Sellers here, buyers here. I'm not surprised it's a little bit like this. We've got Max here. Let's have a look at this. So, how's he got his? He's got his to there, isn't it? But then he's got a separate look. It's not very clear there. I mean, hmm. Yeah, so he's got a separate channel from there, which is a bit weird, isn't it? Hmm. It's not super clear, is it, really? I mean, you could certainly argue it's already played out. I'm not a massive fan of that, of my channel. I just haven't really got anything better at the moment. So, uh, I've seen multiple different ideas. Uh, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. We didn't quite get down low enough there. If we had come down a few more ticks, it wouldn't have been so bad, but it is working along the top, not so bad. And visually, it doesn't look terrible. And what I'm seeing is buyer's here and seller's here. So if there's buyer's here and seller's here, I prefer it when there's sellers above price. And at the moment, there's not a huge amount of sellers above there. So maybe this has played out some way. I mean, if you drag that to there, uh, technically, I don't know, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think you just got to keep an open mind at the moment. See, this could be going down, couldn't it? In fact, do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we are going down because we got sellers here below the highs and buyers down here. So I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes down here. Nothing I could do anyway. It's just choppy. So around 70. So we got sellers there. And we got some buyers. It's just above 62. So we got buyers here. Sellers there, buyers there. So there is a lower high here, but it's a bit choppy. And trades like that can trigger you and stop you out. As it's chopping sideways, there's just, it's not strong enough to go either way at the moment, and sometimes it just ends up getting trappy. So I'm just sitting on my hands here. If we can get a little couple of legs up, clear some of this liquidity, and then get something looking nice, then that's a possibility. We need a couple of legs up for me. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to trade that long when this isn't super clear. And we've had a leg down, a few attempts to go up, which is indicating to me it's more likely going to go down. And all the sellers I can see on my chart are either here or slightly higher, which is usually if price is going to go up here, you'll see a lot of sellers up here, and we're not seeing anything really up there. So my guess is this is on its way down, or at least maybe a reversal, or we could have 2 legs and then maybe it'll go up. Who knows? So that can go. We've hit buyers there, so that seems to be they seem to be getting absorbed. There are buyers at 60. There should be kind of a couple of legs down. So that's it then, buyers. So a couple of legs down. Now it could still push up, test the highs, but I'm not sure whether it will or not. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to take a quick few minute break. Make a cup of tea. Get a bit dry. So I'm just going to pop that on the screen. Quick cup of tea. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Sorry about that. Okay, see if we can get a second entry along up here. Short, sorry, my mistake. So, 6061, there are sellers. So, 6061. So, there are sellers here. Don't you dare come down. We need to get up. If we can get up here, we may actually get something. You can see these sellers here, can't you? So, that would kind of work there, wouldn't it? Austin, no trades. No, not as yet, bud. It is frustrating when it doesn't quite get back to the EMA. That was kind of setting up to be quite nice. Leg up, another leg up, maybe a triple test, getting into this area where the sellers are. That would have been nice. Partly love about Pats, I know, yeah. It's annoying, isn't it? Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. It is good for you sometimes to not take some trades and just to sit there patiently because it is, as we know, it is a big, major part of trading, isn't it? I mean, I've taken a couple of trades in the last two or three trades in the last 3 weeks. Uh, and lack of patience was always my big issue. And I'm quite glad I managed to just not force anything. And it's a nice feeling when you start to do things the right way and you feel, actually, I'm now starting to get somewhere. Uh, it does happen sometimes. You just get a lack of setup. There are sellers in this area. We need a couple of legs, though. Uh, we got buyers down here below the low, which is always good, and a bit lower. So I think there's a good chance this is going to come down, but we need a proper setup. Uh, Still need to get to 60 for me. There'll be some liquidity up here. There'll be some liquidity here, and there are some sellers there. That makes kind of sense where to sell. Okay. Let's get into these sellers here. A couple of legs up. Let's just get an order ready.
Order submitted.
Push it to here and then give us a nice bear bar.
Order cancelled.
How is he? You right, Mo? Hello? Hello? Hey? dogs have just come back from the hairdressers. Okay. So that's tempting, but I'm just sitting tight at the moment because there are a chunk of orders here, and there'll be some liquidity above here and here as well, and it's a little bit choppy. So I'm holding fire. Hopefully we can get into this area. Jailbreak new eye. Correction, couple of days out. I'll see. Good thing is as well, hopefully, if this finishes bullish, there's a higher low there. So if we can go up, we may trap some longs. Come on, give us a set. So see the sellers there. So if we can get to that level, take out a bit of liquidity here. Have a leg, and then a leg. We'll see. Come on. I like the idea we're testing overnight highs as well there. Come on. Come on. A little bit more. There we go. And a little bit more. Let's get an order up here just in case.
Order submitted.
So I want to hit 60 and then give us a nice bear bar. There we go. Love to get above there. A few more ticks higher would be nice. Go on, a couple more ticks. Another tick above that. A few more ticks high. Just want to get above there. One more tick. There we go. Now give us something nice and bearish. That one's a bonus. I need this to finish nice and bearish. I don't think it's going to. Perfect measured move. See what happens.
Order canceled.
Lower high is the option. Unfortunately, we didn't break above anywhere, which is so goddamn annoying. We have had a nice, perfect measured move up. Sellers at 60. There are buyers at 55. That's what concerns me. And buyers at 53.75 before the lows. But we've got a nice little correction there. So if we can get a second entry short here, we may then get something on the way down. We may end up getting something like that by the end of the day. Channel down, nice correction. Hopefully another leg down. It's a nice correction anyway. See if we can hit these sellers here. Now, this is just an area of interest rather than a a solid channel. Yeah, I couldn't take that as a lower high, not with those sellers at 60. It's very close, that is. See if we get a failure here. Possible second entry long. If it triggers and comes down, we get a failure. Come on, finish bullish. You can see this area here is playing a part. So we've had a bounce there. Okay, that's hit them sellers. Let's see what happens. Just looking for a possible long fail. If we can get a second entry long to trigger and then push down. This isn't looking like a bigger channel, really. This is looking like a couple of legs. Let's see if this triggers and comes down. I looked at that. It's a bit unclear. It gets below there. It's going to hit some stops. I don't doubt it. But trouble is, everything's above that EMA and it's holding above that EMA. That's what concerns me going short. And so if we can get below that EMA and get a little pullback, then we may get something down. And we kind of got a little second entry short stroke failure there. But it's struggling to get below that EMA or close below it. That's what's just confusing me a touch. Get below here, I think it'll come down a little bit easier. You bound to have some stops there, which will hit any second, I think. Now, depending on how you've got this channel, I think we'll get a good move down there. Now, I've got it like that. I'd like to come up and retest this. I can't just get in here. See, there's no entry there, really. I like the fact that we had a higher low there, or bull bar, whatever you want to call it, or a second entry long that triggered and came down. But that bar just didn't push below that EMA enough for me, and prices, if you look on this chart, prices are still above that. See if we can get a possible 2 legs back in a bullish bar to trigger it, then we get a lower high maybe, and then we may get that move down. Trouble is, we have got to be careful because we got buyers 54, 55. So we got buyers here. So there are traders who want to buy this. Mind you, there are buyers down here at 50, 51 as well. So 50, which is below price, which is important. See if this little bull bar triggers. 2 little legs up. See if this little bull bar triggers. Trouble is, it's still a bit congested here, so it may trigger. It may come down, take the bottom out, and then go sideways. But there is less orders up here, so we'll see what happens. We're just not getting rejection here. We'll see. Yeah, it is annoying, but I don't let it bother me anymore. It used to, but yeah, it may just take a couple of days to get things back to normalish. Trouble is, then you get tomorrow, and then you think we're short again. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it takes you a couple of days or 2 weeks. Squeezing a trade and trying to, get cheeky and get one when there isn't really one, you can get lucky, of course, but it does lead to bad habits and it can catch you out as well. And when you've been patient over Christmas and you get into something a little bit too risky and you get stung, it's frustrating. The times I used to go on tilt were the times where I knew it was a risky trade and I should have left well alone, and I decided to do it anyway. But when you do something you shouldn't be doing, that's when you get frustrated with yourself, and that can lead to going on tilt. So the simple answer is just wait for you to go, I like that, I like it. Simple as that, I like that. No questions, you just take it. I mean, look, I've got this down here, so we've got a channel down here and a correction. Now, how many times do we see this pattern? Leg down, correction, and we come back here in an hour and we're down here. That's what I think is likely to happen. Probably going to clear some of this up. We've pushed up, we've broken a couple of different days. We've broken, 1, 2, 3. We've broken a bunch of highs there, haven't we? Or yesterday's high, that's the main important bit. So my guess is it's probably going to come down and tackle some of these areas. And it's looking, with that leg down and that nice correction, it's looking promising to go lower. The only thing is, if it's a good, clear setup to go down, usually you get a load of sellers in and they'll sell this low, but at the moment it's chopping around, and that's what makes me a bit nervous. So we've got 420 contracts at 61, which is there. So if we get a little second entry short the close, well, we'll see. We've got buyers here and sellers here, so price is chopping. So you've got to be so careful, because if you get a bit premature, it can literally take you out and then end up going. So my experience is, when it's doing this, you've just got to be patient and wait for a few eager traders to get in there, get trapped and get stopped out before market decides, okay, we've cleared liquidity, let's now push down for that second leg. That's indeed if there is, but I've seen this so many times, leg down with a correction. If you looked on a different chart or a slightly higher time frame chart, probably look a little bit clearer, but I'd like to get up here. As I say, there's 400 odd contracts there. I think that's an important level. It's just a bit vacant here. There's not a huge amount of orders, or they're very even. There's nothing pulling it. Shall we last year? Yeah, I tend to forget. From one year to the next, I tend to forget. I can't remember what happened last month, to be honest with you. But I remember, I think it was the year before last, it was awful during the summer, and everyone was saying, it'll get better in September. And then the start of September, nothing. Then all of a sudden, boom, it changed, and there was just trades left, right, and centre. So you never quite know when things are going to change. It is starting to look like we're moving down. Trouble is, there's a second. In fact, that second entry short might not be terrible. My only concern there is this 400 contracts there, and it's a bit choppy, so you don't know when it's going to trigger you. Push up, stop out that, clear any liquidity, and then drop. And it's just the way it is, unfortunately. That's sometimes the downside of using Bookmap, but it will save your ass way more. Would I have taken that set? Trouble is, sometimes it'll give you average setups down here, and then all of a sudden it trigger the last one, and it'll rush up and clear some of it out, and then end up going in the same damn direction. And while we were here and we had those 400 contracts there, I had to just be a little bit careful. It's just one of those things, isn't it? But, one thing I like about being patient and not taking it if I don't take it, it's a good feeling to know you're doing, because for so long I treated this thing like a bloody casino. I just threw money at it and just tried to get lucky. And then after a while, you'll get to a stage where after a while you just think, I just can't do this anymore. And slowly something starts to change. And then when it does change and you trade like a professional trader, you don't go on tilt, you take straight trades, you treat all your accounts with the same value, and things start to work. It's a really lovely feeling. I can't tell you how much. Feeling finally I'm doing things the right way. When you follow the rules and do things properly, you feel on top of the world, even if you're not taking trades, because I know I can't see any trades to take. So, I don't mind if there's no trades. I don't mind not taking them. But when you start to do things the right way, it's a really nice feeling that you finally, getting to grips with that kind of, that discipline, that lack of patience. I mean, I suffered terrible with just jumping in quickly to trades. You sort of, that panicky, itchy trigger finger. Before I knew it, I was in and out of a trade and down God knows how much. But fortunately now I feel like I'm in control, not the emotions. Now, it does look like it's working down in some kind of a structure, doesn't it? Which is good. But I think once it gets so far low, I'd like to see a break here, because there is a chunk of sellers there. And and it's not pushing down as strongly as I think. So this is the old scenario. The slower it moves down, the quicker it'll snap back. Now, if I was just scalping a point, I'd be inclined to maybe have a go at something like that. But there you go. There's not much you can do. But yeah, we got a leg down with a correction, quite a clear correction, right to the tick, and then it's clearly starting to work down, which is good. And it does fit nice. I've just adjusted it so it does fit nice at the bottom and the top. It fits nice in this little top tier. I'd like to see a break and get close to these. In fact, they're a little bit higher, around 61.25. That way we'll take out a little bit of this early liquidity. It did work if you scalped it, but it wouldn't have worked for me. It would have had to get down to there for me, so I'd have been a few ticks short. So just keep it in mind, this channel I've got here is more a speculative one. It may end up, doing something like this in the end. In fact, let's get rid of it. You can clearly see there's a leg down there with a correction. Okay, so that order there has just been yanked. There is still some there. You can see it got pulled. So whether that was just a case of someone changing their mind. I still think this is likely going to find its way down, especially what I'm seeing. We've had a couple of little legs up and it's slowly working down. We've got this big move down and it is trying, but not successfully. So my gut feeling is this is still going to find its way down. 375. There's 470 contracts there to sell. If we get a couple of legs like that. It's a bit quiet, isn't it? We've had a strong bar there, so is that going to find its way down? There are sellers. In fact, there are 1,000 contracts there. So a little pullback there and a push down. It's interesting. 1,120 contracts there. It's quite a bearish bar, that is, but it's stopped at the EMA, so yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, we've got that leg down and we've got a nice correction. We've pushed up, but we haven't broken that level. So we've had one, 1, 2, 3. My guess is it's probably, if we can get a second entry short here, I think we'll find our way down for a second leg. But I much prefer these legs to kind of be very, almost a lot closer in size, but I'll take it. But there's over 1,000 contracts there. So if it hits that 60 level, and then we get some rejection there, I'll take that as a lower high. If it looks right. See, so we've had a little channel with a break and a new high, strong push down, but we didn't close by the EMA. The next bar did. See what happens when we hit this 60 level. Let's get an order ready up here just in case this happens.
Order submitted.
I want to see some real rejection there. So it's just picked up them 1,000 odd contracts to go short. Trouble is, between 62.5 and 63, there are still more sellers. So let me have a look. 63.75. There's over 400 contracts there. Doesn't mean it'll necessarily hit them. But there was over 1,000 contracts there to go short. see if we can push up above that bull bar and then give us a bearish bar. We'd have a second entry short then. I'd much prefer to take him close to these highs as well. Go on, tick above that. There we go. Now drop. Give us something bearish. I mean, there are sellers up to 65. So we may get 2 legs up with a correction, 2 legs up. In other words, 2 larger legs up and then a move down. That's a possibility. Let me just close.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, 63.75. So there's about 600 contracts between 375 and 5. There's 5 and 375 is there. So there's about 600 contracts in that area there. And if we can get into that area and we touch that measured move and then we get a bearish move, not only then have we had 2 bigger legs up, but that's broken down into smaller legs. And that would kind of be something like that. So, I mean, look at that. 2 bigger legs up and 2 smaller legs right into that right area. So if we can get into this area and then get something nice and bearish, we may get lucky. We'll see. You agree? Yeah. Let me just get that fib tool and see how far back we've come. So, okay. And not only that, this is around that 50%-ish line. So it'd be nice to hit that and then wick down to about the 50%. We'll see. All this stuff looks good on paper, but whether we get lucky or not, who knows? Sometimes you just get up to it, you don't get a decent setup, and the damn thing drops anyway. Seems like there are a lot of things. Yeah, there does. I mean, this is not going up like a channel, is it? Really? That kind of doesn't make sense. It's too broad, so it's pushing up and getting a bit choppy and just clearing a bit of liquidity and getting enough traders in to go. This thing is struggling to go up. It's looking bearish now. Let's take a short. Trouble is sometimes it doesn't quite get there and then decides to drop, but who knows. I'm going to take a quick pee. I'll be about 1 minute. Quick bathroom break. It's like lower high triple test. My only concern is there's 600 contracts here, very close to a measured leg, and this at the moment is a little bit sideways. In fact, probably go as far as to say is a little bit of a range. Now we've had a breakout at the bottom there, so if we make a breakout the top, that will give us 2 measured legs, and both individual legs are broken down into 2. I wouldn't take a short here for me. Now that is a big bearish bar, and there may be stops there. And sometimes if you get a strong enough position, it'll try, but it won't quite get back there. I wouldn't take that at the moment. That really is more of an inside bar anyway. So for me, the only way I'm going to get into a trade here is if it gets up to this area and gives us something bearish. Because it's a little bit congested, this. Let's switch to the 10,000 tick chart. That might clear a lot of it up. Okay, so we got a move down, 2 legs higher, big bullish bar there, see on there, and that's triggered. If it comes up to here, leg down, 2 legs up, and then a move down. It has triggered that big bull bar. But I still, I'd rather still wait, especially when we got 600 orders in this area, which is not too far away, to be honest with you. So if it is a little range, we've had a break out the bottom. Often we'll get one the opposite end, and this looks like it's going to hit some stops there. You can bet that. And if it hits some stops, I think it'll get into this area relatively quick. If it hits some stops there, I mean, we're like a point, and we're there 3 points, and we're right up to the top here. So I think it'll do it quite quick if it's that, because a couple of legs, there's bound to be some short stops above that. See, if you'd have taken that short as a triple test, you'd have been a bit worried about now, wouldn't you? It's just too premature, that is. It's vague. It's more of an inside bar. It's just not strong. There's no dominance there, is there? And you really need that to get enough traders in. Yeah, so we'll come into this area, these sellers now. So I'm going to get an order open, and we'll just see how we get on here.
Order submitted.
So if we can get close to this, we're only a couple of points away. And then we get something bearish. Doesn't need to go up that far, because it's not really going to hit any liquidity, I don't think. Okay. I'm looking for some real rejection now. It could be. For me, it's too broad for a reversal. I mean, we have 2 legs up, 2 attempts to go lower. It could be, but I want to see some really strong rejection. We're not getting it at the moment. Now, it hasn't closed above that measured leg yet, so we'll see. Yeah. I mean, I'm always open-minded. I don't just assume because it looks like that it's definitely going to work. So I'm always open-minded. I never just assume this has to go down. And the first sign I can get something that looks good, I'll take it. Yeah, I'm always open-minded. Things can change. Yeah, even Dan said about to be another tradeless day for him. He's not taking many either, and Dan probably takes an average of 2 a day. So it just goes to show there's not a lot around. Anyway, I'm just going to ditch that for a
Order
minute. It doesn't
canceled.
look like it's in any hurry to come down. So where am I looking at some sellers? About 67, which is there. Absolutely, I'm aware of that. Yeah, we pushed up. We tried a couple of times to get down. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dan had nothing yesterday either. So usually before this happens, if it does, it takes off previous liquidity. The next bit of liquidity is up there. It's starting to get to the stage where it's getting a bit, but that doesn't look like a channel to me. It's always a possibility that we could have something like that. It's hard to say. We've had 2 moves up. Both of them are quite broad. So, I'm still hopeful that we do get then the second move. But once it gets up so far, it's, it's bordering on how high is this thing going to go, because we have had a break from a channel and we have had a couple of attempts to go lower. So sometimes that'll fail. That was a penguin style trade. 2 attempts to go lower. He'd jump in about here. So, you don't know. Yeah. You don't know. Once it started to go a bit sideways of that measured move, sometimes, it'll hit that area where it's struggling to go up and people will go, okay, we've had a couple of legs up. If we get a strong move through that EMA, then, there's a possibility, but I don't know. I'm leaving that just at the moment. Stick to this one. But yeah, I mean, you've got to keep open-minded. I can't tell you how many times I was convinced this has to go down, and I'm constantly looking for shorts to get in, and sometimes it just didn't happen. So, after you've you've messed up a few times or quite a lot of times, you are aware. Then don't just assume because most of the time it does a certain thing that it's going to do it every time. Because that way you get disappointed. So you've always kind of got to be. I mean, it's still broad enough that it could work its way down, but we'd need a strong move down relatively quick. See, if you look at this area it's bouncing, this was an area where there was a bunch of sellers previously. So, I mean, reference a pullback. It doesn't, they say 50%, whatever, once it gets above so high, it could still come up to here. It could come right up to here. But you can see around here, there is a lot of support and resistance. So it may hit this area and then all of a sudden decide to start doing something like this. Who knows? But I think you've always got to keep open-minded. Don't just assume because something does something that it will and it has to. Sometimes it doesn't. It's easy to get that sort of narrow-minded, isn't it? And you're just focusing on, okay, I'm looking for a short, when sometimes, because as I say, we have had a little correction after a leg down and we've had a couple of legs down. So there's always a possibility, sellers aren't interested in taking this thing any lower. Okay, so these areas are now taken. So the next bunch of sellers are around 67.5 and above, which is there, to about 70 here. So there's going to be a liquidity there, but it's hard to say in it. The fact that Dan hasn't taken a trade for 2 days made me feel a little bit better. He takes a couple a day on average, I think. So he takes more trades, but he only scalps half the amount I do. So he scalps for 6 points. 6 ticks. So he could take slightly trades that slightly risky trades, but I need to take half the amount of him point for point. I've been going to 45 and half an hour before. So I'm going to give it another 15 more minutes. I may come back later. Got some news, haven't we? Yeah, I may come back for half an hour later. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. I'll give it another 15 minutes. Round it up to 3 hours. Doesn't look too bad, actually, that. Yeah, channel. 2 legs back, 2 attempts to push lower, and then off we go. So okay, in fact, I'm going to knock it on the head there. I'm getting a bit hungry now. I am. Go down and sort some dinner out. So I may come back later for half an hour. I'll see. I am aware we got Trump speaking later, so you never quite know what he's going to say. So I appreciate your company. Hopefully things pick up. There we go. Here's another important. There's an important pattern there to consider. The turtle. Someone's obviously bored. So there you go. That's a possibility if you see that again. So I appreciate your company. I'm going to leave you guys to it. So Tuesday, another day gone already. 7th of January tomorrow already. Unbelievable, isn't it? So I'm going to leave you folks to it. Best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a better day. So I'll leave you guys to it. Have a great evening. Stay safe. Thanks, Richard. You too, bud. And we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye.